Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ludi Tonight. Happy Sunday night, everybody. The final few matches of week 1 of Ludi coming to an end here, including 2 on this stream. It's going to be a lovely doubleheader, starting off between Non-Binary Fuss and Biscuit Factory. We have Jordan and Keon on the mic tonight. Welcome, everybody. Jordan, how are we doing? How are we doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty great. I'm excited. This is my first time of the season commentating for Ludi tonight, and I am excited to get right into it. We are looking at a great set coming up here tonight between Non-Binary Fuss and Biscuit Factory. No intention of any bias here, but happy Pride Month for all of you in the crowd.
Indeed, indeed. Keon, happy Sunday. We're kicking off the Ludi season really strong. We had amazing sets last night. Looking forward to some great sets tonight as well. And we have 3 streams all going on at the same time. We'll be sure to plug them and keep you guys updated as the matches go along. But how are we doing tonight? How are we feeling about our first week of Ludi, Keon?
I mean, first week of Ludi has delivered. You noted the Game 9. We had back-to-back Game 9 sets yesterday evening, Falco. Those were a blast. I'll plug this one out. Watch the last one, Riptide versus This Is Fine, because that was crazy the entire way through. I hope, Falco, we get to see one go all 9 tonight. For better or for worse, man, where you guys are.
Yeah, we had 2 in a row go all 9. Will this one go the distance? I have no idea. We will see. But take a look at the roster here, Keon and Jordan. I'm going to toss the mic over to you guys officially as these teams are getting ready and situated in the lobby. So take it away.
I'll get us started here, Jordan. We take a look at both teams here, Non-Binary Fuss and Biscuit Factory. Non-Binary Fuss, I recognize 2 members right away. Both members, Ocean Opal and Nerdy Adam, representing UCSD Gold from CCA, and UCSD Gold took home the Div 1 CCA Championship actually just a month back. So familiar faces for me there. Biscuit Factory, they of course got their split. They got their Twitter. I was supposed to say splitter there for a hot second. So doing Twitter is meshing all in one. Jordan, I'm hoping to see some fireworks here in this Div 6 matchup.
Yeah, definitely. And on the side of Non-Binary Fuss, 3 of the members, Tesseract, Takuna, and Ocean Opal, have been part of the team for a little while. The team has been around since the beginning of Splatoon 3, and they've come a bit of a way since their Div 10 placement in Ludi Season 13. They're up to Div 6 now. And while Adam and Bleach are relatively new members to the team, having some of that established synergy between Adam and Opal could be a good sign for them. Yeah,
and I'm really excited to see how Non-Binary Fuss handles manager. Biscuit Factory, of course, is gonna be the team. They actually, I'm trying to dig up the where their team origin name came from here. Yes, team name Biscuit Factory comes from the biscuit making of cats kneading. So, little fun fact for you guys. We are on to game 1 of this best of 9 between Non-Binary Fuss and Biscuit Factory. Biscuit Factory representing the Bravo color side, or purple. Yellow is Non-Binary Fuss. We take a look at the weapons here. Quick things to note I've noticed here. We're gonna be seeing a duel of ballpoint and NZAP to kick things off.
Yeah, that's right. In a meta where we're so used to pencil, seeing the ballpoint coming out on both of these teams will be pretty interesting. Hope maybe we'll see a duel of inkjets coming out of here. And in addition, on the side of Biscuit Factory, we have the 96 Gal Deco, which is popping their Kraken right now in response to the strikes coming out from the T-Tech on the side of Non-Binary Fuss, and 2 go down on Non-Binary Fuss, allowing Biscuit Factory to pick up the Rainmaker first.
And there's a really good start for Biscuit Factory, but let's see if they can get the first one there through. The Inkjet has been popped up there as well. We do see Nerdy Adam, which by the way they're on that T-Tech. I've seen them do this before in the CCA season early, just this past one, and it's a very familiar weapon that they have. But going down just earlier, as the first checkpoint's been cleared off by Biscuit Factory, Inkjet does get one. Zagruz goes down on top of it. And that's going to be the value that they're going to get, which is not too bad, all things considered, for Non-Binary Fuss. More importantly, they stop the push. Rainmaker's going to reset, but Biscuit Factory will be happy with the checkpoint.
Yeah, that's pretty strong for Non-Binary Fuss. Getting their plat back, getting Biscuit Factory push away, putting a lot of yellow paint down in mid, as well as using those strikes to extend that push. But oh, they almost make the checkpoint, but don't quite, and they lose the Rainmaker before they can make it there. Will this next pop get them to it? There's no one there just yet.
Yeah, there's no one there just yet, but there is a DC on the side of Biscuit Factory. The NZEP has disappeared from the fray. Just a 3v4 situation right now. I'm gonna have to take a look at the official ruling there in just a bit there. But while this is all going down right now, non-binary fuss is just right ahead. There's the lead. And now the mountain just suddenly got bigger for Biscuit Factory to crawl back behind. Now I'm gonna play a little bit more perfectly in this 3v4 situation.
Yeah, this with one player disconnected on the side of Biscuit Factory, non-binary fuss seems to smell blood in the water, and they are pushing further down to 36, using that Zipcaster to go right in and picking up the Rainmaker, moving it closer to that goal, down to 11 remaining before getting picked off. But the key thing here is that even when Biscuit Factory went a player down, they kept playing, and by continuing to play, they forfeited their right to a replay of this game.
I think you're exactly right, because I think they're opting to just play on. They're just gonna go ahead and say, all right, we're just gonna play out the 3v4, see what happens there. Feel like Biscuit Factory might be okay with it. All things considered, probably just not wanting to burn the DC if they can. DC can if they can this early. So non-binary fuss. Again, 4v3 situation. You're gonna have to play very perfect. You got 2 minutes and 10 seconds to do so. It's still doable. The issue that Biscuit Factory had is that they lost their NZEP, which is their primary cooler option. So you're not gonna get those quick respawns or get those coolers out if they can make it work. And non-binary fuss is just going ahead. They're just trying to punish them out right now, just hoping to not get splatted, which they just did there. It's gonna be 2 down. Kraken's just been popped.
Yeah, but non-binary fuss, they are still jumping in. Oh, Nerdy Adam goes down, and there's another jump. Almost gets down to the Kraken, but they still pick up the Rainmaker, and even as 3 go down, they're still pushing for it, trying to either stall, get more points, or at least make something happen. And as the rest of the team is spawning in, but non-binary fuss do still have that 4th player. They do still have their cooler player, and so they are able to come back in relatively quickly.
That's the big thing here too, is they want that fight on a 3v4, so every live starts to matter here. Now they're gonna get collapsed on 4v1 on top of it. There's gonna effectively be a delayed wipe, all things considered there. Things are kind of looking up though, all things considered, in this 3v4 for Biscuit Factory. Yes, it might be inevitable that this first map might go the way things are, but if you're Biscuit Factory, you can still feel really good at the fact that, okay, we can still compete with the best here. Non-binary fuss losing that fight is a good sign for possible things to come. But right now for Biscuit Factory, they're still holding strong on defense. That Zipcaster gets no value right out of the gate, and they're still having a hard time somehow pushing up further. This Rainmaker is just kind of they're trying to stall it out. They got 7 seconds being the difference.
Yeah, they are trying to stall it out, and the Rainmaker does go down. Oh, Adam putting the Rainmaker up on top of the screen. That is a sneaky place to put it. It will take a Squid Surge to get up there from that wall in front of Riddy right here. And the Suction Bomb could have gotten that pick, but not quite. Now Riddy does pick up the Rainmaker over here, but gets flanked by the Stamper, and 2 go down for it. That is not good for Biscuit Factory.
And Biscuit Factory, again, they got fully wiped out. Non-binary fuss is just going to be able to collapse onto those. Just popping up and bigging it up there. They were already the last ones to drop it, so the game effectively over there. And game 1 going to non-binary fuss to kick off this best of 9. And yet, again, we highlighted there too, 3v4 situation, always hard to come back and win that one. But if you're Biscuit Factory, I'd imagine actually you're probably not framing it out too much. They actually had to use up the entire time just to get the victory, all things considered. It was not a KO as soon as it happened.
Right, and there could be a few reasons why the team would choose to keep playing through that disconnect. They could be saving it for later. The player who disconnected could have internet issues that would cause them to not be ready to go for another several minutes, and so playing out the game would give them that time maybe. Or they feel so confident that, okay, we can burn a game, we still think we can win it in 6, we could win it in 7, and even with the disconnect, maybe they have that confidence.
Honestly, that performance was not at all too bad there from Biscuit Factory. Yes, the score says 1-0. You're moving on to Ramen zones here, Jordan. So this is going to be the key thing for Biscuit Factory. You had a great opening push in Museum Rainmaker. So we could be seeing possibly another strong start in Ramen zones, depending on how that map starts here, Jordan.
Yeah, I agree. Ramen zones, it is kind of somewhere in between in terms of whether you can get a lockout on the side of whoever takes the zone first. But before we get to that, we see a quick look in at one of the other sets here. Both of the other sets, here's the live look in between Ziphius and Hazard Level Minimum on the channel SplatoonTourney 1, but this one also had a disconnect from one of the sides, and it might have been later in the match, but it was still played out with that disconnect. I believe it was on the side of Hazard Level Minimum, and Ziphius took that game, it appears.
We kind of just saw parallels across the three there. So we saw that one finish up game 1 there in SplatoonTourney 1. Now we got this one to look forward to there for Non-Binary Fuss and Biscuit Factory on top. Again, for those who are tuning in, we do have 3 streams all happening at the same time across SplatoonTourney, SplatoonTourney 1, and SplatoonTourney 2. So apparently, Museum Rainmaker has not been kind to several teams so far, having to deal with the disconnect here, Jordan. Hopefully, not a sign of terrible things to come. All things considered, but I'm hoping the Biscuit Factory is just trying to get some of that stuff ironed out. I imagine this is why we have the long wait at this point.
Yeah, me too. It is a little bit potentially worrying that Biscuit Factory do only have the 4 players on their roster, and so if there are internet issues on their side, it could pose problems. But they have all 4 of their players in the lobby and ready to go, spawning into Robo Ramen right now.
Yeah, spawning into Robo Ramen there, and there are some minor changes, all things considered. The 52 gal has been dished out for Biscuit Factory. You do see Tesseract switching over to the Rapid Blaster Pro Deco being the choice there, there, which actually a very underrated blaster weapon that has been getting a lot of more play time. But so far, kind of almost fundamentally, we're going to be seeing the end, the dueling end zaps, and that was actually the ballpoint switching over to the RPP Deco. Otherwise, pretty similar comps across the board.
Yeah, here we see Tesseract here jumping from one side to the other, but Biscuit Factory are collapsing on the 2 players who were there, and now it is only Tesseract who is left alive as Biscuit Factory do push into that elbow area, trying to lock out Non-Binary Fuss and prevent them from getting back in. But here comes the Zipcaster from the side of Non-Binary Fuss. So that is Bleach on the Splatana Stamper, trying to get behind and get something done, but doesn't get any picks.
Yeah, no value out of that Zipcaster. Just a little unfortunate for Non-Binary Fuss, but it may have cleared up just enough space until that Stamper did unfortunately go down there. But they are actually still able to win out some of those fights there. Biscuit Factory going 2 on top of the Zagreus, trying to lurk large, and they are able to neutralize control and actually get the zones flipped over to Non-Binary Fuss's end. That's a great flip. They needed to get that one through, just get the penalty points on the board, buy themselves a little bit more time. Biscuit Factory in the penalty points, having to deal with 2 respawning in, and Non-Binary Fuss is their time to capitalize.
Yeah, now Non-Binary Fuss are in that position, taking the enemy team's choke point, taking Biscuit Factory's choke point, and putting up Cooler there. But we see the Killer Whale coming out from the side of Biscuit Factory. That is Kitsuki on the 52 gal. It looks like no, that is the Zap. It appears. And so now Biscuit Factory has taken the zone, and they are looking to do the same thing, but Non-Binary Fuss, they have enough of paint on their side that they're preventing the lockout right now. And another Killer Whale, this time coming out from Non-Binary Fuss and neutralizing the zone with additional specials.
Yes, some specials being used as it's going to be 3 down for Non-Binary Fuss there, as Biscuit Factory wins a pretty crucial fight, and they still have control of the zone. The members are going to have to respawn here, just having to contest. Now they're going to be moving up just a little further there, but poking their head out a little too soon. Stamper takes out the Zap on top of it. Now just trying to work their way around. They're going to be out of the penalty points here soon. Biscuit Factory, that is. Zipcaster is online. I need to see the Zipcaster from Bleach is going to be able to get some value. Yes, you get the zone flip the other direction. The Zipcaster has been dished out, but the 52 gal and the Zap both going down on separate trades. It is just an all-out fight here across the zone. The Blaster's still lurking large. It is a delayed 2 on both sides. It is pretty neutral so far from both teams here, Jordan.
Yeah, I think that last pick on the ballpoint and then the Zap is crucial because getting rid of their backline, getting rid of that long-range player is going to allow non-binary Fuss to push in a little bit harder and win some of those other fights by collapsing on the shorter range members of Biscuit Factory. And now Riddy here back with that ballpoint Splatling, trying to take the space, maybe charging up their Inkjet that might allow them to get in. But the strikes are probably going to buy non-binary Fuss enough time to take the lead here if they can't get in, if Biscuit Factory can't make it in.
And they definitely can't make it in right now. In fact, the entire team is wiped out. Biscuit Factory had 3 specials available. They only could pop 1. That would be the Inkjet, and that's a bad time for the wipeout too. Non-binary Fuss has control of that zone, and they're able to move up ahead. I think that was Miriam that went down. That's a crucial 2 down that just happened there, and it will be one of the members there for non-binary Fuss. Bleach being a little out of position. Non-binary Fuss has swung lead in their direction, but Biscuit Factory don't count them out just yet. 1 minute and 7 seconds left to go in this game, and Biscuit Factory, honestly, they still have several shots to get lead back here, but it's gonna have to start with a sustained push. 52 gal down right now for Biscuit Factory.
Yeah, they're putting up that cooler in the zone. They lose control of it, but oh, and it does flip. It does flip the other way. 3 going down. Oh, that is all for another wipeout. Is not what Biscuit Factory wanted here.
Yeah, not what Biscuit Factory needed. In terms of defense, their non-binary Fuss played that fight spectacularly, and they had the Red Blaster Pro going down. Now, here's the other thing, too. Biscuit Factory has been shutting down the lockout maneuvers that non-binary Fuss has been trying to dish out each go-around. Biscuit Factory able to get the zones back, but now they got to keep this one in their control for as long as they can. They got a whale that's available, the triple splashdown, which is not going to get used. In fact, it went down on top of it. Jordan, last 15 seconds, they're going to be out of the belly points here. Biscuit Factory has one last shot.
Yeah, this is crucial. It really helps for Biscuit Factory that even though the blaster went down, they kept their splashdown, and there it is, the splashdown coming out. It doesn't get any picks though. It doesn't get any power. It doesn't get any value, and non-binary Fuss are able to come back and take the zone one last time to prevent an overtime.
2 wipeouts, then a delayed wipe at the end of it kind of just sealed Biscuit Factory's fate there. Non-binary Fuss played a lot of that fights very well. I was a little worried coming out of Bleach if that Stamper was going to get value, especially with the Zip Caster. They couldn't find much, but they weren't sweating it too hard. They were still having a good amount of control throughout that game. We do get to see the replay. I believe the replay that has non-binary Fuss get the lead. They had control of the zones the entire time. That Zip Caster was flying around left, right, and center, and they do shut them all out. The trip strikes had to zone Biscuit Factory out of it. You just can't move up. 2 members already up ahead, trying to contest with the zone. They get a little too over eager, and TES was using that triple splashdown. It was kind of the desperate maneuver at the very end, but non-binary Fuss painting. They move up, they take out 2, and at that point, Biscuit Factory gets wiped out. Non-binary Fuss swings lead that direction. And we look forward to Inkblot Clans being the next one, and that is really good if you're non-binary Fuss and Biscuit Factory. Still a lot more games to go, but definitely down 2-0. Not a great start so far.
Yeah, I could see the vision from that splashdown trying to take the zone here, but it was a little bit over eager, a little bit too early, and just being surrounded by the enemy paint just meant that they couldn't get the value out of it. See, here we see the live looking going in SplatoonTourney 1 and SplatoonTourney 2 right as Ziphius takes game 2, pulling out a 2-0 lead over hazard level minimum. And the fight between Six Pack Yokes and Time to Win, they might have either gotten off to a late start or replayed the game due to a disconnect or both. But they are still fighting it out in a tough battle on Museum D'Alfonsino.
Yeah, and as you mentioned before, maybe late start just getting things ironed out. All things considered, though, again, across 3 channels, SplatoonTourney 1 and SplatoonTourney 2. But back to our game at hand here, Jordan, non-binary Fuss and Biscuit Factory here. For Biscuit Factory, I'm curious as to what they're gonna have to do to adjust and get themselves on the board. They honestly a lot of positive points to note there, especially with the way they've been playing. They were able to win out some of these fights and able to contest. Things just started slipping away from them when they were getting a little too close to the zone. But I feel like I'm wondering, Jordan, what your thoughts are on possibly having to adjust and see how they can get on the board with Inkblot Clans being game 3.
Yeah, these were 2 losses for Biscuit Factory, but they were not very huge losses. They weren't overwhelming losses. The first game, it was due, you could chalk it up to that disconnect. Second game, they had some strong pushes and some good moments, but now we'll see if they can come back on game 3 on Inkblot Clan Blitz.
And here's the interesting too. We've been talking about duels across the board. We have a 3-weapon mirror match that is being played out here. We have an NZAP. We have 2.5. I've got to correct myself here. NZAP and Ballpoint is being used, but I believe we have custom blasters, but both variants being played. Non-binary foes, I believe, are sporting the custom range blaster, but both teams have Kraken options, if I am not mistaken.
Yeah, that's what it appears. It looks like the custom range blaster from the side of Non-Binary Fuss and the custom blaster from the side of Biscuit Factory. Again, same as the last game. But yeah, here's the Kraken. It is the 96 Galdeco here, using this Kraken, trying to push back Non-Binary Fuss, getting a trade between the Zaps. The blaster goes down on the side of Non-Binary Fuss, and it looks like Biscuit Factory are able to put in that first clam of the game, scoring 20 points, and also getting another pick with that splashdown to try and continue the push. They'll want to put more clams in the basket, and they continue to do so.
Yeah, I was getting a little worried if that triple splashdown there wasn't going to give value, or at least provide enough paint to throw more clams into that basket. But no, not to worry. No, they were able to get 2 more in, get themselves down to 74 points remaining. Not too bad so far, but there could be the response there Non-Binary Fuss has. Now, this is Kraken post cheese, we like to say here. So most teams will opt to use the Kraken to help provide a little bit more spacing for their team to make pushes if they can make it work, but the Kraken doesn't build enough of a space or enough leeway basically to get themselves in with that power clamp. They're gonna have to play this one a little patiently though, but I love the fact that Non-Binary Faust has 2 power clams that were available until 2 members got taken out just like that. Make that 3, and Hakuna's just gonna have to retreat here, Jordan.
Yeah. Tesseract went for that trade with, I believe it was the NZAP on the side of Biscuit Factory. That's Kitsuki. And it didn't work out at first, but now Non-Binary Fuss are taking back control. They are going for that push, and they do manage to get a clam in the basket, and they've taken the lead. Somehow they have managed to put more clams in. They're using their strikes to extend that push. Nerdy Adam there going down for it, trying to get the jump into the Kraken, but it gets punished, and they can't get that second power clam in. The other Kraken on the side of Biscuit Factory is coming out, and the trade here. They do get the pick on TES or Totes. That is a trade for both teams, but Non-Binary Fuss have taken the lead here, and now Biscuit Factory are going to need another push of their own.
How about Zagreus with the clutch Kraken and actually planting themselves on top of the power clamp to ensure that push did not get out of hand? That was really smart, all things considered, and prevents them from making this league go way out of control, because now they make it a little bit more manageable. But Non-Binary Fuss, again, clam economy favoring them. It was 22 at one point, down to 15, with members going down left and right, but Nerdy Adam is striking big this time. They take out Riddy, and that's 2, and that's 3 right away from Non-Binary Fuss as Adam gets the triple. They get the power clam dished in here, and Adam will throw in even more so, and Adam just run amok against Biscuit Factory in their base.
That is a massive play from Non-Binary Fuss, from Adam, getting that triple. But we saw both teams bringing out the Krakens, both Zagreus and Bleach, using them and just running past each other, swimming past each other, trying to get some picks on the enemy team. Now, here we see Zagreus painting on the right side here, looking for players to come in to punish, and looking for space to take, and so they can score more points here. There's only about a minute left, but as 2 go down on the side of Non-Binary Fuss, this could be an opening for them. However, one thing to notice is that as Non-Binary Fuss, they still keep a clam in their possession this whole time, and since Biscuit Factory don't have that, that means that Non-Binary Fuss is getting the passive special charge. They are getting the special charge in this game mode from that clam, and that is allowing Adam to get so many tri-strikes out, which are just suffocating any momentum that Biscuit Factory can get.
Yeah, Biscuit Factory also losing the fight, as you noted there too. They're being so oppressive with the way they're playing this game. In fact, this is now going down to 7 points remain, and now this is just an insurmountable lead. All things considered, they're gonna just have to move right up, and yeah, you have to pick up the Pity Clam, get the second one in at least, get themselves a much powerful push up ahead. Now 13 seconds left to go. You only have one special. It's just a Kraken from the 96 gal Deco there. So TES and the rest of Biscuit Factory are gonna have to find a way to maneuver themselves around. They have a lot of clams in their possession, but it has to start with a fight. Here comes overtime to get things going as the ballpoint from Riddy goes down on top of it. That might be huge as it goes to, and that will be non-binary fuss taking out 2 members from Biscuit Factory. TES just cannot move up just enough as they are able to stagger them out one by one by one by one. Non-binary fuss plays the defense perfectly, and Jordan non-binary fuss is up 3-0, winning the first 3 maps so far in this best of 9.
Yeah, very, very strong start out here from Non-Binary Fuss. Not only winning Game 3, but showing that they can win Game 3 in a dominant fashion, scoring 93 points out here, nearly getting that knockout, and making it, well, as you said, an insurmountable or nearly insurmountable lead. The way the scores were towards the end there, Biscuit Factory would have needed 81 points to take the lead. If they had scored 4 power clams, it would have only tied the score.
And that's kind of the crazy thing too. Biscuit Factory were honestly doing their best to make this one count. As we're gonna get to see this beautiful triple, by the way, from Adam. We got 1 pick there, and yeah, just the rest of Biscuit Factory were just way up ahead. It allows Adam to get a perfect flank in, taking out Kitsuki's Zagreus and Riddy as well. When Riddy went down, that entire area got cleaned out, and Biscuit Factory the rest of Biscuit Factory not suspecting it, and Adam just gets a super clean flank to make that push go all the way down to single digits in the points remaining side there. So Jordan, Biscuit Factory, 3-0 down in the set. Almost, I always like to use the phrase a mountain to climb, a hill to climb in this case. They so far in the hill to climb phase so far there. They're gonna, again, still looking for that first map victory. This was definitely one of those games where I'd imagine Biscuit Factory are just gonna have to look past that. There are some shining spots in the first 2, and I still am curious there, Jordan, what we think Biscuit Factory would have to do to get beyond the board.
Yeah, see, the thing is, they were able to score the first points of that game, and they were able to make a push that worked. So if they can identify what was successful about that, if they can identify what weaknesses on the side of Non-Binary Fuss that they can exploit, then maybe going into Mako Mart here, they will be able to turn the momentum in their favor.
And I think the way that they've been their comps have been worked for the most part. They've been relying heavily on that custom blaster, the NZAP, and the ballpoint on top of things. So it's they're probably relying that on their core, but they're running themselves into duels or mirror matches, I like to call it there, where you're having to deal with dueling NZAPs and ballpoint. You're gonna have to just execute very well as well, I'd imagine, for Biscuit Factory. And coming to Mako Mart Tower Control, this is gonna be their time to shine there. This is actually, like most Tower Control maps, blaster is a very popular choice in most cases, especially with Mako Mart with the way the stacks are lined up. Tesseract also understands the assignment, going back to Rapid Blaster Pro Deco, and they're just going to go back to the 52 gal that's on that 4th option there. So Zagreus is going to be switching over to that. Going to be curious to see how Biscuit Factory adjusts, and Non-Binary Fuss looking to be up 4-0.
Yeah, it looks like we are not seeing any new weapons coming out from any of these players. Continuing with what we've seen before, what they're comfortable with. Neither team losing any immediately at first, neither team taking the tower. This fight is still pretty neutral in here, but the specials do start coming out with the tacticalers on both sides and the killer whale out from Biscuit Factory.
One thing that Biscuit Factory has to be worried about is the pain disadvantage, but taking 3 out is gonna just eliminate any worries of it so far. Yeah, Bleach did take out 1, but it was a bit of a trade. What I was gonna note there on the point though is that Painting is gonna most certainly value Non-Binary Fuss with the fact they had the T-Tech and the Zap so far. So I'd imagine they're gonna have to win out some of the fights to make this one count. Not able to break through the first checkpoint, it appears, just having to escape because of the trip strikes that Adam had. And that's also the other thing I want to note too, is that Adam has the trip strike, so that's just gonna slow down some of the pushes that Biscuit Factory could have. So you want to keep an eye on Adam if you're Biscuit Factory there, if you want to just help neutralize it, as this tower is past first checkpoint for Non-Binary Fuss.
Oh, what a move from the Splatana Stamper from Bleach, getting that pick there, just rushing down the ballpoint Splatling, rushing down Ready there, and making the space for non-binary fuss to take that first checkpoint, and it always feels like the tower moves so fast from checkpoint 1 to checkpoint 2, and all of a sudden, when the team who's attacking was at like 70 points, around 70 points before, suddenly they are at 30, and now non-binary fuss are down to 0.
It all happened just so quickly, just like that. And the crazy thing too is that Biscuit Factory just not able to respond. Look at the amount of paint that non-binary fuss had across the entire map. Just total domination of the entire map. The way this game has gone, and non-binary fuss on their way to a potential sweep in the making here in this Division 6 matchup. Biscuit Factory is going to have to pull the fatal reverse sweep here, as we're going to get to see the replay of how non-binary fuss pretty much got through the second checkpoint.
Yeah, that incredible skirmishing out there from Nerdy and Adam, that survival, keeping the attention from those players, 3 of them on the side of Biscuit Factory, all focused over there on that side, while the tower is just moving, getting past checkpoint 2, getting past checkpoint 3, and you blink and you miss it before you realize the tower is all the way past checkpoint 3 and moving the very short distance to the goal.
That blinking you miss is pretty much the perfect turn of phrase I like to use in that scenario, because it almost happened so suddenly too for a non-binary fuss, just able to just take that one all the way home there from start to finish, and that was just looking so great here as both teams, as we do get to see the live looking for both teams here on SplatoonTourney 1 and SplatoonTourney 2. Everybody kind of wrapping up their maps respectively here, trying to win up 2-0, and we do have Ziphius 3-0 up against hazard level minimums. Both as so far on all 3 streams, really, both teams has yet to score a point, and hopefully we like to see if they can find the response themselves.
Check out that custom well string though coming out from ArcSoul on Ziphius. Go check that out on SplatoonTourney 1 if you want to see some well string gaming. Or you can put that up in another tab. Keep this one open too, because you will not want to miss this game 5 here on Manta Maria. A chance for non-binary fuss to finish the sweep, and a chance for Biscuit Factory to start a comeback of their own.
It's the it's reverse sweep territory here for the rest of Biscuit Factory, and I still want to point note here, they've stuck with the same 3. You mentioned before, comfort picks has been the play of the game there, but this is going to be a time where if you're going to stick to comfort here, Jordan, I would love to see if they can get so much more value, especially with the specials they had. Inkjet and Triple Splashdowns has found some, and I would love to see if they can find a little bit more here, as we're going to see both teams with wholesale changes across the board. Not what I was expecting to see in Game 5.
Yeah, both teams getting rid of the Zap as their cooler option, with Tesseract going for the edit, and Totes going for the Tri Nouveau on the side of Biscuit Factory. Teams contesting the pop, and it is non-binary fuss who gets it first.
I'd like to point out that we still have mirror matches. It's now just the regular splatter shot, effectively, just different color variants there. As that Keatsuki loved the attempt there, but the Tricycle just falling down, not able to find much there. A little bit of a messy fight to get things going, as it's gonna be a delayed wipe, and non-binary fuss picks up this Rainmaker, gonna take it on to the left checkpoint. Should be the easy first checkpoint on that left-hand side, and non-binary fuss is still lurking large here, Jordan.
Yeah, they are. All of Biscuit Factory moving out onto the left side there at first. Might not be a good choice, because it leaves no one in the way of the Rainmaker, which is already in that pit, already down to 8 remaining, almost a knockout in the first minute.
Almost a knockout there, and things are now looking very dire right out of the gate for Biscuit Factory, but 4 minutes left to go on the clock. Still a lot of time to work with there. I want to just take a quick note of the weapons there while the Rainmaker's being dropped left and right. They had switched over to that 96 gal deco for the Kraken. They flexed over the cooler Tri Nouveau, which again, the Tri Nouveau on paper not a bad option there, as we do get to see a pick with the Inkjet being able to take out one, but for Biscuit Factory, I want to see if the value from the Trizukas is gonna now matter a whole lot, and see if that Tri Nouveau can find picks for themselves, as that Trizuka is just kind of raining amok there on the left hand side. But again, if you're in Biscuit Factory, a lot to work with, but honestly still plenty of time.
Yeah, but with that first push all the way down to 4 remaining. If Biscuit Factory had a mountain to climb before this set, now they have to climb that mountain starting from the Dead Sea. Speaking of which, free Palestine. Anyway, the Rainmaker here gets picked off, and the ballpoint going down on the side of Biscuit Factory. 3 minutes left and counting going down. Non-binary Fuss being a little patient here, getting that paint into mid. Nerdy Adam possibly painting for the tri-strikes halfway there at the moment. The bombs are coming in from the side of Biscuit Factory and the specials. That Trizuka not getting anything done though. And the Zuka from Non-binary Fuss in return does get 2 picks.
Just unfortunate value difference really for Trizuka's in the grand scheme of things. Non-binary Fuss gets 2, Biscuit Factory gets none, and I think they were just trying to snipe out Adam by trying to be very, very sneaky there with the Trizuka shots, but to no success as Non-binary Fuss is now moving up ahead. There's a lot of paint. There's Bleach just trying to skirmish 1, and they get 1. That's 2 going down on top of it. That's a clutch pick from the ballpoint there from Riddy to at least get that Rainmaker back in its bubble there, and now Biscuit Factory just having to fight again there where the Rainmaker stuck in their territory. They had a good attempt earlier, but now they see this Rainmaker back here once more. We do see TS, I think, originally thinking twice about whether to pop it or not, and I think they're just going to opt for the reset, but just be weary about possible sneaks if they let Non-binary Fuss get through. This is going to be the key thing to keep an eye on. As that Kraken's now moving up ahead, they take out 2.
Yeah, this could be a chance for Non-binary Fuss to make that surprise play, but the one player who was going around that side did get taken out, and now Tesseract has gone down as well. Both teams contesting mid. Biscuit Factory, they still haven't been able to get to that first check here. We see Riddy dropping down from the top there, giving up that stronger position, but perhaps feeling like it was too vulnerable there. Going over on the left side here, bringing out the Zuka from Kitsuki, trying to get something done, isn't able to do so, and does get punished for it. Bleach here, trying to fight that Inkjet with the Stamper, and does get that pick on it. Incredible fight there between the 2 specials. And now Non-binary Fuss, there's a minute left, and they are holding on to this to win the set.
I am in shock and I am in awe from Bleach. That was slick. Using the Stamper to take out the Inkjet from mid-air from Riddy, and that's just a little unfortunate there from Riddy, just flying a little too close to the Stamper range, but that was just beautiful maneuvers from the Zipcaster. I think just recognizing, all right, we have an Inkjet that is flying up ahead. We just gotta deal with it now. But hey, Biscuit Factory, one last push to go on the clock. 30 seconds left on that timer, and it's being caught from the side, and it's Bleach once more showing up in the last minutes of this one, and as Rainmaker stuck in its bubble, Bleach is just trying to make sure that it doesn't get popped, and Biscuit Factory has a chance, excuse me. It's only 14 seconds left to go here. Jordan and Non-binary Fuss wants to make sure that Rainmaker doesn't get picked up.
Wow, Biscuit Factory, they are down, and now they may be out. Bleach over here doing everything, getting that pick on the Inkjet, getting the pick on the Rainmaker and the other player near it, and then picking the Rainmaker up at the end to prevent an overtime. Bleach just overruling this game and sealing the deal to make this a 5-0 sweep for Non-binary Fuss.
That looked like Non-binary Fuss just got so much better and better and better with the way each game pretty much progressed there, Jordan. As we do get to see the replays there. I believe it's just going to be a defensive hold for the most part. I want to say Non-binary Fuss pretty much understood the assignment. You got down to 4-point train. Already going to be a safe lead. It's going to lead there, but you still have to lurk large there from Biscuit Factory. See how this is going to work. And again, I note the Trizuka difference there. That Skitsky just trying to find any value out of the gate. There none found so far. And then here's Bleach. Here's that slick Stamper kill onto the Inkjet. Riddy just gets a little too close into Bleach's range, and Bleach, I believe did not go down on top of it. That is the difference there. And again, it was 1 on top of 3 down, and okay, that was just a little too, that was just incredible from Bleach, and pretty much a highlight reel moment.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Definitely put that on your Sendu profile.
You know what? We can just put in our Sendu profiles later. That Bleach should definitely put. And it's not just Bleach, by the way, too. The rest of the team.
Oh yeah,
played
absolutely.
that entire set so well from start to finish. Bleach just showed off in the last minute. Let's be real there from Game 5. And Biscuit Factory off the DZ even game one, I felt like there was a glimmer of hope. They had a great start, and unfortunately that's kind of when the wheels started to fall off there a bit. Then things just looked so much better and better and better with the way non-binary Fuss played. We get to see the rosters there. Biscuit Factory playing a 4-man roster again for the DC. You're just having to deal with whatever gets thrown at you. Again, the DC very unfortunate. Obviously, just played out, probably just waiting to save that DC for a later time if they needed it, but unfortunately there weren't any chances left there. Jordan, it's just GG well played from both teams. Just non-binary Fuss just looks a lot better and better and better, but Biscuit Factory still a lot more of the season to go.
Yeah, there is plenty of time left to go. There are still four more sets to play in your group, and Biscuit Factory will be able to learn from this. They'll be able to take those replays, figure out what they can do to improve, and you never know. A lot of it could come down to the momentum, just the feeling of your back against the wall and not being able to play according to the plans that you've made.
That's definitely true there. Falco, we saw 5-0, and I'm sure from you looking sitting there in that hosting chair, I think it was definitely clear. I think non-binary Fuss. It was more non-binary Fuss was improving, and Biscuit Factory just having to play catch up from behind the rest of the way through.
Yeah, it's certainly seen that way. Starting kind of with game one with that early disconnect, and yes, I'm not alluding to you, but according to the rules, they could have stopped and replayed that game. But again, the rules say if you play out, the game counts. So what's done is done. You move on from there. But yeah, really every other game besides that, non-binary Fuss seemed to be very dominant. Now, the Zones game on Robo Ramen, that was the back and forth game. That was the one that we saw a lot of back and forth where Biscuit Factory clearly had control for a good duration of the game. But unfortunately for them, they couldn't hold on. And yeah, non-binary Fuss getting that 5-0 win and getting their first win of the Ludi season. Let's take a look at the other matches going on right now on SplatoonTourney 1 and 2. As you can see, both are in intermissions. Zephyus, they just got the 5-0 sweep against Hazard Level Minimum, so that set is wrapping up. And then Time to Win currently up 3-2 against Six Pack Yolks. That one got a little bit of a later start, so they're going to be gearing up for Game 4, which is going to be on Macomart. Again, Six Pack Yolks looking to get their first win of the season. You guys can watch that on SplatoonTourney 2. As for now, for us, that is going to be it for this match here between Non-Binary Fuss and Biscuit Factory, but we still have one more match that is coming up tonight. At the top of the hour, in about 15 minutes, we are going to be having the Whip Rays making their Div 5 debut, playing in Div 7 last year versus Exotic Butters, which is a pickup team, also now playing in Div 5. So, again, don't go anywhere for that match. I love their logo, by the way. Exotic Butters. It looks really good.
That logo rules. I was actually gonna see there because we're going from Biscuit to now just that incredible logo from Exotic Butters. I wonder if we're gonna have a very food themed setup here for here in the main SplatoonTourney channel there, Falco. And I was like, well, you know what? I appreciate teams that kind of stick with it.
Oh yeah, we always love it. We always love it. But that's going to be it for you guys on this block. So Jordan and Keon, thank you very much for hopping on the mic tonight. Where can we find you both? Jordan, we'll start with you.
Yeah, sure. You can find me on Twitter, or X as it's known, at Squidoku_. You can also find me on Splatsville.social, where I am Squidoku. And I'm also Squidoku_ on Squidboards.
Perfect. And Keon, where can we find you?
Well, you guys can find me. It's Twitter and Blue Sky, Keon2570 for the nonsense, and Twitch. I stream wherever I can for variety. Twitch.tv/Keon2570. I am also part of the crew here for SplatoonTourney, so you'll probably catch me posting all the announcements for all the upcoming matches for this past weekend. So I appreciate y'all's support there for watching Ludi tonight across the board.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you both. I appreciate it. And again, we will be back with one more set tonight. The Whip Rays versus Exotic Butters coming up at the top of the hour. You guys don't go anywhere. You are watching Ludi tonight on SplatoonTourney. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Ludi Tonight. My name is Falco Flyer, and I am joined here with Saf and Snowpoke. Not Snowpoke, Slowbro. I was thinking our good friend streamer, Snowpoke.
Nope,
Never
still
mind.
not.
Still
not it.
Slowpoke.
There we go.
Slowpoke, yeah, it's Slowpoke. I am a Gen 1er, but I am ashamed that I couldn't get that right away. Anyways, joined here with Saf and Toma. Hi, Toma, behind there. here for the Whip Rays and Exotic Butters for our headlining match here on our Sunday night of Ludi Tonight Prime Time. I just want to get your takes. Saf, we'll start with you. Week 1 of Ludi. We've had a lot of amazing matches so far.
Hey man, you know what? I actually want to hear from Toma first, who's on the seating council. Can I do a pass on this one? I never do a pass.
Oh gosh. Well, here's the deal. We got two great teams here tonight, Whip Rays and Exotic Butters. I think Whip Rays a pretty staple name here in low level right now, of course. We've seen them have pop off after pop off with these alpha bracket finishes in low ink, as well as an insane fire pit finals placement at LTC. But Exotic Butters definitely can't be underestimated. I think that they're a team that's kind of easy to overlook because they're not as familiar with the players from the West since their time zone differences, right? This has a team with a lot of Oceania players. So Oceania is a kind of a region that we don't quite look at as much, and then time after time will come and sweep our tournaments. So you have to keep an eye out for them.
Yeah, Exotic Butters, they have a loaded roster, 8 members, I believe, with, well, we just saw it, I didn't count, but, okay, not 8, 6, we'll go with that number, but
-2.
-2, yeah, thank you, but they're a fun team. This is going to be a really fun set. You know, we talked about the Whip Rays a little bit earlier, where, you know, 2 seasons ago, Div 8, last season, Div 7, skipping Div 6, doing the great Div jump that all teams want to do, and now playing in Div 5, and they are looking to pack a punch into this set. It's going to be a really good one.
Yeah, you know, one thing I gotta say, I just love the Rip Rays so much, Toma. I mean, it's been such a treat to get to not only watch their journey here on Ludi Tonight, but also getting to meet the folks at LTC in real time, and they really have made such a strong LAN presence, which for teams out there that can really stand the test of time, like the Whip Rays have, and also Los Inklings, but we're talking about the Whip Rays right now. If you can really stand the test of time and learn to kind of move and make lore and legend of yourselves, then it's really awesome to like see that presence show up at LANs. You know what I mean?
I mean, it definitely is, and I mean, we both saw their run at LTC this year, Saf, and just the hype that can come across with these with teams like this that you see online all the time, but then they truly shine on LAN. I think Whip Rays is a team that just truly shines on LAN. You get them together, and especially I have to say Sofa King has that just contagious energy that just fills the room, Saf.
Absolutely. Like, it's such a contagious energy. So definitely encourage all of you folks out there, if you are feeling ready and social, to go to a LAN with your team and to meet up and play some games in person. I mean, it is such a vibe, and it's so much fun, and I mean, I don't know. It's a really, like, one of a kind of experience. But anyways, Toma, finally, the final set of the evening here on Prime Time. We have the Whip Rays and Exotic Butters opening statements looking to be made here. A pencil already on the field, however, a double shot response coming out from the Whip Rays.
Very interested to see this coming out. I'm excited at Rhythm, of course, with that iconic Hydra pick coming out that we see as this kind of a staple weapon in the back line of the Whip Rays. Very talented with it, despite a weapon that you don't see quite often in comp right now. Right now, they're going to be just going out here, trying to get some picks here around this Rainmaker. Quick diving in on Nate there, getting the trade off as the Whip Rays start to turn the middle of this map blue. And you can see that they're wasting no time there. Huber and Sofa King forcing a jump out, but Stormingly holding it down on that defense for Exotic Butters, taking both of those out there. And now Exotic Butters has a lot better space to move here, especially as Luna's trying to drop down here and find some picks in mid.
just as we touched on right when the game started, the amount of team synergy that the Whip Rays have together, it shows at LAN, but it just showed in tournament there with Cuber and Sofa King trying to go and push in together. However, Exotic Butters having a wonderful response here, breaking the checkpoint, but getting it down to 58, and still feasting on picks here as the Whip Rays are now wiped out, and the Rainmaker is picked up simultaneously and quickly. Hands clean. Exotic Butters takes game 1.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, this is what I'm telling you. You can't underestimate these OCE players just coming in here. Once they have that space, they are not relenting. They're pushing forward. They're taking that space too. And they're just so fast at moving forward and making sure that they're not going to let you breathe.
Well, I mean, the elimination of Whip Ray's offense immediately was the lightning in the bottle for Exotic Butters, because as soon as you took out the offensive force of Sofa King and Cuber together, you could see Luna, you could see Storm there pushing up, creating so much space for Cookie to jump in with this Rainmaker here. So much on the back end too. I mean, look at that, a little bit on the ramp there, some around the right-hand corner if you need to escape, and then Storm is in a great spot to respond with this Kraken right in the spawning area. So not a lot to play with here, and especially when 2 of your mates go down, not a lot for Sofa King to really work with there. So clean passage here. I mean, close to clean passage here for Cookie. Some fire, cover fire coming in over the top of the pedestal there. However, and nonetheless, no fear to be pushing forward. But game 2, looking down the line at Robo Ramen Splat Zones here. I don't think the double shot maybe is the call. However, I really appreciate that the shots weren't really working in tandem together. More so, they wanted to be supporting Cuber, who was on the blaster.
Absolutely. I mean, you saw that up there with Sofa King that was just supporting Cuber's fight forward, getting in there, making sure that Cuber had paint under their feet to keep that fight going. That is what you want to see. But yeah, I do agree that, you know, maybe we want to see a potential cooler coming out for them that could have got them back in there a little bit faster. Right now, we're looking in over at SplatoonTourney 2, seeing 6-pack yokes versus Time to Win. They're right now in, you know, match point, potentially, if Time to Win just trying to look out to get this game or this set closed up there. But, you know, that's over on SplatoonTourney 2. We've still got a great set here on SplatoonTourney 1, Exotic Butters versus the Whip Rays. I'm excited to see what they pull out, and especially after that display of power from Exotic Butters. And I noticed there too, I talked about their OCE players. I need to talk about Luna as well, who, if I'm not mistaken, is a member from Hydra, who has been a very notable Division 5 team in the past as well.
Oh, interesting. Okay, Hydra has been around, or like was around, not sure if disbanded now, but I remember Hydra and hosting them in Kensa Cup days in Splatoon 2, like the tail end of Splatoon 2, and seeing them, I don't know around Low Ink, but I remember that team like very specifically. So that's really interesting. I mean, I feel in terms of Splatoon more, Luna would be considered like a veteran at this point, other than the folks playing Splatoon 1. You know who you are, we know who you are, just be quiet. Anyway, because we're in game number 2 now. Cookie changing up the backline weapon. Did you see that, Toma? ZNR or ZNF Charger coming out.
Yep, and I mean, we talked about no cooler on the side of Whip Rays before, but now no cooler coming out on the side of Exotic Butters. Whip Rays have Eon on that classic Tri-Slosher from Eon. And Eon is, I think Eon might be the scrappiest Tri-Slosher that you ever see. Just usually going forward, diving in, getting crazy picks. But right now, they're going to play it a little bit safe till their team is playing in. But nope, as soon as I say that, yeah, Storm, they're going to be picked off as Eon sees just an opportunity to dive in on that prey.
Yeah, look at that. Sofa King and Nate and Eon all trying to push up on the left-hand side. Quick, though, as in the name, 3 of them going down in the blink of an eye. Exotic Butters having strong hold on the midsection here. Rhythm being the last one left alive. They're just trying to get some cover fire in, maybe trying to create an opening, but Sofa King still going down right on the drop there. The Booyah Bomb coming out to provide some more coverage on the zone. Maybe a flip here, but just not quite enough. Toma, look at that little middle rectangle there. Finally, the Whip Rays taking the zone, getting some points.
Yep, and just that ZNF2, they can push that back pretty far if they get that space forward going right now. Cookie's in a difficult spot, especially with Eon diving in there, getting the pick over that ledge. Eon now has that cooler out 2 down on the side of Exotic Butters. This is definitely going to be a sustained push here.
Yeah, and Eon's in a great place to respond, taking out 1 aggressor, from the side of Exotic Butters. There's no place for the Charger to get set up quite yet, so the lead now being changed into the Whip Ray's favor here. Playing a little bit on the back foot here, Toma. Look at this, though. Just backing up just a little bit, trying to utilize the space that's behind them. In a game like Robo Ramen here, where you want to try to move in for the lockout, you have to be able to move backwards, just considering the shape and topography of the map. So Whipray's losing the zone there for just a second, but able to take it back. Some coverage coming in from the Booyah Bomb there. Exotic Butter's a little bit hesitant to want to move in, looking in to see if they can try to take the fight on the right-hand side here, but I don't think that that's going to move in their favor. They're wasting time to move in. The Tri-Strikes come in, but not enough time. Toma, now the Whip Rays here to respond, getting a game of their own. We're tied the set.
That was huge for them too, and I mean, Saf, you talk about a dominating game one on that Rainmaker map, but the Whip Rays, once they got control of that zone, they did not let it go. That was 0 to 100 there as they just stormed forward. Eon really creating the opening for them to just take control of the enemy's base, and even when they had to fall back, you notice that they didn't give up too much space. They waited until they had specials. Here we see about halfway through this game where the Whip Rays finally take control of that zone, and let me tell you, they wait for the great moment there. They got that Booyah Bomb out. Nate is pushing them forward, making sure that Storming Lee is cut off from the rest of their team, and then it's just the Charger there, and I mean, we saw how the rest of this played out.
Yeah, I mean, just an absolutely dominating presence as soon as the zone flipped into their favor. You could see Cookie really had no room to stand on, because right here, Eon shows no fear when trying to play and push offensive pressure on their aggressor. I mean, literally, if they have the space and they have the ink, they're gonna utilize it, and they're gonna go for the unconditional spot, because as soon as Cookie peered around the corner, Eon was right there to respond. So they are waiting for that person to just rear their head around and to show themselves. But looking over at SplatoonTourney 2 here, Toma, look at this. We are still at Scorch, but we're in overtime as Six-Pack Yotes are looking to try to stay in the game here, but unfortunately getting wiped out near the end.
Yeah, and it looks like time to win there. They are in that lead there, so it looks like they'll be wrapping up that week one, getting that first win under their belt here during Ludi Season 15.
Yeah, and remember, it's just the beginning. We're at the beginning of the week. Okay, or I'm sorry, beginning of the season. We're at the end of the week. Man, what a week, and it's like, Saf, it's Tuesday.
It has been a week. I mean, I think we all saw, well, if you didn't see, the world's most clutch splat bomb, like, ever last night. That has to be, I think, like, the clip of all time.
Yeah, that was an incredible highlight from what was happening on SplatoonTourney last night. We love bringing you the great action here, Toma, and we're gonna do the same thing here in round 3 on Inkblot Art Academy. No changes coming out from the Whip Rays, and I believe Exotic Butters is also on the same here, but Cookie is going to be opting back in for that cooler. I mean, they're gonna need it, especially to try to fight Eon here.
I think that, you know, both teams were like, let's be a little silly and quirky, and then, like, they both didn't have cooler, and they were like, maybe not. Maybe that wasn't the play. So now they're both coolered up, and we're gonna really see what that cooler on cooler action is here. Eon getting in. It looked like getting 3 there before trading down, and just look at this. Now Sofa is in a great position there to try to create some space, especially with this Booyah Bomb potentially coming out, but they don't quite have the plat under control yet to get that clam underneath, and now going 2 down is gonna mean that Exotic Butters has some time to work back here into the map. You could already see Cookie dropping, going for that stack. Sofa being forced to back up to the Whip Rays plat here now, and Exotic Butters is just going to be making sure that they are chipping, they're pushing as much space as they possibly can, especially with the combination of that Pencil and Blaster, but 2 down now again. You can see Whip Rays flipping the situation on its head.
Yeah, I mean, Sofa King is so dominant in the middle section here, and I've seen this with them time and time again. This is not an unfamiliar map to the Whip Rays. The Whip Rays have been here since Splatoon 1, so they know when maps roll over, Toma. They're very familiar with how they work, even as the times change. So now down to the 74 mark, the Whip Rays are good and comfortable in the bats position of the Exotic Butters, but as soon as I say that, Cookie in a great position to try to actually recover that bats area, stopping the push, halting it down to the 74 mark. We're still 3.5 minutes left to go here. Plenty of time to try to change the script a little bit. As Nate comes in with a nice double pick from that Trizooka, a little bit of just a tit for tat fight as we try to get our economies back up for the moment, Toma. However, I mean, Whip Rays have still just been overall dominating this game because I haven't really seen the middle section change from blue.
No, it really hasn't too much. I think there was about one time that Exotic Butters was able to start getting back out, but then they just lost that space really fast, and the Whip Rays, they move up so quickly that they didn't give Exotic Butters really any time to breathe. You can already see Rhythm there moving up, throwing that ball up for Nate to dunk here. Sofa King has 5 more clamps to be able to add into this basket, able to extend their lead now. They're going to be able to get down to below the 50 mark here as long as they're able to get what clamps they have in here, and it looks like Sofa King is just kind of patiently waiting and making sure to spread those out. You see that Luna knocking out people on the side, but Sofa King making sure that's going to keep going, not able to add on to the score any longer, but it is hard for Exotic Butters to get out of their own spawn at the moment.
Sofa King really channeling Eon as they try to show no fear going into the fight, just to hold their ground as much as they can. Whip Rays now down to the 46 mark and still a dominating presence in the middle section, and they are all spread out in really, honestly good defensive positions here, watching in the drop areas on the far sides, looking in to see if they can try to enter in the platform themselves, which they can, and they do. Juice coming out as the follow-up to the clam basket being broken open. Still some follow-up to be had too. Rhythm and Eon trying to hold down the platform as best as they can here, looking to try to even take the bats once again. I mean, this is just a constant poke from the Whip Rays here.
Yes, it definitely is a constant poke there, and now you see that that basket is going to close as they come to a 34 remaining. Exotic Butters yet to be able to find a basket open. They do have 2 power clams within their possession, a lot of clam economy to work with, but they really need to find that space. And then Blaster going down is going to make it difficult for them. They have a hammer out, but that's kind of their only way in at the moment. Nazuka is burned here in mid, but they don't have a lot of pressure yet on that clap, and make that 3 down. Just as soon as I say that, Zaf, this could be a potential big push.
Yeah, that's 2 power clams in there with so much follow-up. The sprinkler coming in clutch, keeping it orange, Toma. Still so much ink to be had for Exotic Butters here. The jump coming in and the lead being flipped. I mean, just barely, just frames of pressing that throw button in there, just trying to angle yourself towards the basket. All eyes forward there. And wow, a showdown to be had from the Whip Rays and Exotic Butters. Exotic Butters flipping the lead with only 35 seconds left remaining here. Can the Whip Rays try to build some sort of clam here? Trying to go in for picks, but not finding success. Nate going down. Booyah Bomb causing some displacement. A jump coming in over to the bats, though, Toma. Look at that. A little bit of a sneaky maneuver coming in from Sofa King and Eon, but not quite landing where they wanted it to.
No, and now they're in a bit of a dangerous position, Saf. They need to get a power clam online. With 10 seconds remaining, they really need to find who has all those clams and get them funneled in there, or they're not going to be able to channel overtime. There we go. Nate has that power clam online. I believe, Saf, that they need to break basket and find... No, I think if they just break basket, they take the lead. So Nate needs to get in here through that Booyah Bomb, trying to find some space. It's just Rhythm trying to go up there. Eon, the last one up. But there's the full wipeout. Saf, and that's going to be Exotic Butters claiming this game.
Yeah, it's one of those things you can tell when things are falling to the wayside, because you lose one, you lose another, and then you all just kind of domino effect on top of each other. And that's exactly what the Whip Rays kind of did at those last moments on that ramp and right in front of basket. The ball in their possession, but just not quite enough momentum to get themselves over that hill. But Exotic Butters, I mean, a really quick lead flip by them nonetheless. I mean, being able to have the time to jump in with an additional power clam to change the lead into their favor. I mean, all they had to do was play defense from that point on.
Yes, that is all they had to do. And I mean, here's these last moments. I think that Whip Rays had the right idea here. You'll see this Booyah Bomb about to come out along with that Zuka. But I think Exotic Butters, they kind of just realized, hey, if we don't like run straight at that, if we just throw everything we've got right there, like they're not going to be able to swim through that Booyah Bomb. They're not going to be able to do anything. And that's that kind of cool, collected, under pressure thing. They knew that they didn't need to scramble for it, and it paid off.
Yeah, and another thing I want to point out is when you could see that Eon was the last one alive trying to push up the hill, it was kind of like they had to almost grab the ball, but you could barely see the blaster sneak behind them. And it's one of those things when you have so many other things to keep in check and worry about, sometimes you just like can't react or like turn around or do the thing that you need to do quick enough when to you know have going on what's going on. if you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and on here you see that quick game 1 that Exotic Butters took on Rainmaker earlier, and we had a great game 2 where Whip Rays take this zone by storm, and they just don't let it go. These are the moments that, for those of y'all joining us from Splatoon 1, SplatoonTourney 1 and SplatoonTourney 2, welcome in. We were at a tied set there. Exotic Butters now taking that short lead in a 2-1 set currently, with a lot of action here left forward. Here were those final moments of this last game like we were just talking about.
And wow, what a shot from Luna, just sticking a little bit out from the corner. Finally, though, moving into Mako Mart, reusable bags in sight. We got our membership cards. We're gold members at Mako Mart, courtesy of Falco Flyer. For those of you who don't know, we have a gold Mako Mart membership together, the three of us. It's really awesome.
I'm excited to go to the cereal aisle. I'm excited to go to the cereal aisle here, but I'm a little scared. I mean, look what's going on right now. I don't know if this is like the same. Like right now, they're literally dueling in the cereal aisle. I think I might get injured if I walk through here.
They're raging because they won't let them get on the loyalty plan that allows them to have 3 membership cards just like us. I mean, it sucks to suck, I guess. No, I'm totally kidding. The tower, the Rip Ray's gonna open and take the tower in these first opening moments here. And you can see Fish quite comfortable where they're at. And I mean, look at the onslaught coming down below this ledge, Toma. There's no leg or room to stand on up there for Exotic Butters.
No, there's not. That Zuka plus that Blaster, we're just putting in a whole lot of work. But you see from the side, I believe that was Luna there, just kind of mopping up the defense on the side of the Rift Rays, just making sure that they had no room to breathe there. And now moving in, you can see how fast this map is turning blue. Saf, they're wasting no time here. That Sprinkler on tower to provide a little bit of cushion and paint for Cookie there. That's just trying to keep this going, as they are now at checkpoint 1, 2 down on the Whip Rays. And you can already see a great flank coming into their base as well. You're going to be seeing a great push here.
Yeah, look at Quick trying to go in and take 2 for themselves. Storming coming out from the rear, bringing 1 more down, pushing 2 more off the flat there. Safe passage for Cookie as they enter into checkpoint 2 and almost take it, actually, almost bust the checkpoint completely. But Eon coming in for the flank, the stamp, also trying to provide some pressure and looking now to chase Eon out of the way. So wasting a little bit of time for that stamp. However, I mean, you got to be watching for Quick on these flanks, Toma, because immediately that's where the Whip Rays collapse.
Yes, it definitely was, and I mean, that, plus I believe it was on the Krakens moving in there too, like, it just showed the kind of presence that Exotic Butters has and how they're not allowing you any space, even on your defenses. Here's Cuber with the Kraken of their own moving in and trying to see if they can force Luna out here on the right-hand side. They know that they're there, gonna find that pick, but still, even though Cuber got those great picks, it's Exotic Butters that's currently in control of this tower.
Yeah, Cookie just kind of ran with it. There was nobody really coming for them anyway. The tri-strikes from the Whip Rays gonna come out and maybe provide a little bit of defense here. Looking to see that Fish is looking to actually cancel that Kraken. Very close to coming to fruition. Lucky for Fish, though, that was not the case. But still, Exotic Butters in control of the tower, even with 2 members down, Toma. Finally, here comes the Whip Rays going up on the right-hand stack and immediately going into a similar formation that we saw earlier in the game. Cuber, Eon, and Sofa King following up onto this platform area, making sure there's not really any entry. But again, who is watching the left-hand side, then, Toma? Because there is Quick opening the way for Exotic Butters to break back in.
And even Cookie there getting a little poke onto there with that Kraken to find a quick kill. Just really impressive coverage of the map across the entire team. You can really see how they're spreading out their fields of view and making sure that they can cover each other and still crossfire with each other while holding their own space and zones. Right now, they're going to look to see if they can be extending this lead very soon, especially as Quick goes in with that hammer, mopping up 1, mopping up 2, make that 3, they're looking to force this, a full wipeout, Saf.
Yeah, and on the 3rd checkpoint as the wipeout occurs at that, a couple seconds to try to break back into the map here, but not enough for the Whip Rays to cause too much trouble for Exotic Butters to take that 3rd game into their pockets.
You know, Saf, sometimes Hammer is a special where you pop it and you go forward and somebody sneezes on you and you explode. And then sometimes it's a special that just gets 3 people and then you win the game.
I truly believe at this point in our lives, Toma, that Stamp truly is one of those specials that it is good in the hands of the person wielding it, and it all depends on the person wielding it.
100%.
Right? Like, I don't know what it is, because, there's times where you're like, well, what was that for? And then there's times where you're like, yeah, there's 3 people down and it just won us the game. So, you have no room to complain or like explain yourself kind of thing. But in the final moments of the game here, again, the juice being thrown out. Look at Quick jumping up with the Stamp, making that flip. There goes 1 with an assist. There goes 2. Make it 3. Eon breaks away, actually, successfully, and actually trades with Luna right at the end there. But still, a dope entrance. Quite honestly, I don't know where dope came from, but I don't know how else to explain that, because they just did a flip and then ate. They feasted.
They were feasting. They ate the entire breakfast aisle that I came to clear out. Like, it's gone. There's nothing left, Saf. I am gonna have to come back a different day after they restock those shelves.
No crumbs. No crumbs. They literally took all the coupons. They cashed out. They had a courtesy number. They used their phone number. They got those reward points.
I think we have a gold card. I think they might have like a platinum card, Saf. Like, there's a secret level of membership above whatever we have.
But why don't we know? Okay, then I think Falco needs to. We need to have a word with our higher ups about that, about our benefits.
I know. Like, look at us here. No. Okay, everybody. SplatoonTourney is currently going on strike.
Yeah, as of this moment, SplatoonTourney staff are going on strike, and we're going on strike on Manta Maria, Rainmaker no less, into Game 5. So Exotic Butters up 2 games against the Whip Rays here. We are at a 3-1 set. However, Whip Rays putting up quite a fight, Toma. It's like people always say, the scoreboard never reflects what's actually happening. Still some changes, though, coming out again. You gotta appreciate that the Exotic Butters, I mean, kind of as the name implies, they're trying to keep it exotic by changing up their weapons every so often.
Yeah, they sure are, and I really love to see the heavy edit pick here. I think that Manta could be a map that's a little bit awkward for Pencil to play around, especially because of all these greats. And Edit is a weapon that just uses those greats while it's a weapon that you naturally stack a lot of run speed on, and look, there it is, already getting that Rainmaker dump. It has great object damage as well. Like, they're cooking with it. They are cooking with it, and look at this. They're still continuing.
Oh my gosh.
Just that Hydra up, not in position to deal with it. He's gonna be getting that squid roll through the Booyah Bomb, and look at that, down to 21 with less than a minute. It started in this game, and just Nate up.
This is what I'm saying. This is what it looks like when you see a team work in tandem with each other, and there's just a flow. There's an ebb and flow to the battle, and Exotic Butters has found the win for it, because down to the 4-point mark, again, still so many specials coming out. Look at Quick trying to just jump, get a little bit more ink on there. They're still holding so much pressure. Down to the 4. Couldn't quite get a leg up onto that pedestal, however. So the Whip Rays are going to opt for the reset back into mid, just trying to paint up special as fast as they can, Rhythm being the first one to be online. Toma, what a response from the Whip Rays that needs to be happening here.
Yeah, I mean, that was a breathtaking first push on the side of Exotic Butters, and now the Whip Rays have to basically all but KO. That four count is basically touching the Rainmaker base. You need to basically be going up that and getting the KO to knock out here, and they are going to be able to get this first checkpoint here, but now make that 3 down. Actually, they're gonna have to back up and give up some space, and you can already see that Exotic Butters has that Rainmaker in possession, is wasting no time, finds a pick onto the blaster there, and is just continuing this forward assault that they've had all game long. So they give up no space, and they just hold continuous pressure on this map.
I know, but I mean, unfortunate in that front street area there, 3 more members of the Whip Rays end up going down, make it a delayed wipe, finally trying to come back out here. Quick is going to just be fast to paint a pathway down to the Rainmaker there. They're trying to get as much ink as they can, but luckily Cuber able to follow up from the side here and kind of sneak in and prevent that push from going any further. Trying to look for safe patches going on the street, but Toma, holy smokes, how did that Rainmaker shield not get them?
Yeah, I mean, just are peeking in at just the right time not to die there, and that could have been disastrous.
Oh my god, playing with fire!
Yes, it is so good for the Whip Rays right now that they're staying alive. Huber had gone down, that probably just would have been GG's, but now they're allowed to stay alive here in this set. You can see that they find a pick there on to Stormingly, but just as I say that, that's the full wipeout on the Whip Rays. Quick is already down here. They've got this hammer locked and loaded. Cookie coming in with this Rainmaker, looking to try to get this pedestal. They are hungry for it too. Sap going around the side. They do get a pick before going down, but that is a route I have not seen before.
Okay, MVP of stopping that push was Fish. They got one pick with the Zuka. They dropped down in the pit. They were scrappy as heck down there, and they took two. Finally taking Exotic Butters out of the pit once again. So it's like the Whip Rays got the defense on lock in this one, Toma, but it just, they can't quite find the momentum or the flow like Exotic Butters did at the beginning of the game. They kind of found something and were cooking once they broke the first checkpoint, but then it kind of just fell apart once they got in the street area. It just seems like those more close quarter combat fights maybe just aren't quite there for the Whip Rays, but I don't want to say that because I mean, you have folks like Sofa King and you have Cuber working together that are just trying to get as much ink down as possible and taking like the path less traveled. Like you could see Nate trying to go in and find a flank there, but that could also just be Exotic Butters being really keen on making sure flanks don't happen. But look at this. This could be huge, Toma, with Roto getting a nice double pick there, opening up the street area, taking out so much aggression from Exotic Butters.
Yes, they do, but of course, you've got just a Cookie up there looking at that Rainmaker, making sure that it's not going to advance forward. Fish picks up, but you've got Quick in the street with that hammer to shut it down. You can see that they're just covering bases, and Stormingly is over here on the side too. Maybe they know, maybe they don't, but ready to just kind of jump behind, drop on the Whip Rays that they try to pick up there. That triple splashdown does go out, 7 seconds remaining. Whip Rays has to pick up this Rainmaker and make headway. 2 seconds left. It looks like the pop is going to be contested. They're not able to get it, Sap. And wowie, what a game. I have to say, I think one of the key differences here, we were talking about the kind of wind that Exotic Butters had in their sails, and I think a lot of that has to be owed to Cookie. We saw them previously kind of on further back weapons with the ZNF and the pencil, but this Headit just allowed them to move so much further up with their team, so much faster while still providing that cooler.
Yes, right here, look at this. Yes, yeah. It made them so much faster.
And like this was immediate. This was the start of the game. Like a pencil would not be sitting right on top of the Rainmaker at that moment of time, and you can see like literally just 30 seconds of the game they were already prepared to find that Rainmaker break. And even then, through time and time again, Cookie was one of the furthest up, just helping lead that team until they needed to pick up that Rainmaker. And look at that.
I can't get over that. I can't get over that. Thank you for going back to this. I mean, look at that. Look at how close that was. I mean, tentacles in the wind. Touching the outside pieces of that Booyah Bomb. Look at that!
Talking about the perfect squid roll, and like obviously like they did go down afterwards, but like even just being able to extend that, putting that Rainmaker in a much better place. Like look at that, that's huge.
No damage taken.
It was great, Saf, because when they dropped it here too, they were able to pick it up and immediately start scoring instead of having to drop it down into this kind of awkward spot again. And that's like it's the small differences that Cookie is able to be putting out here that I really think edged it out for Exotic Butters.
I know it's like a micro transaction for them to squid roll at just the right time to avoid that and not take any damage as well, like deflecting that damage, parrying that damage away from them. So I gosh, the timing is incredible. So that was really cool from Cookie. But I also want to talk about Quick, because Quick consistently getting in that pit of the Whip Rays. I mean, the Whip Rays could respond, don't get me wrong. They were able to get back into the map. They broke a checkpoint. I mean, golly, they were, they were on the right track. And Toma, I truly believe if that Rainmaker did not get contested, that I'm not saying the Whip Rays would have won it, but I'm saying that they would have put up a huge fuss in a fight to try to get their way to the pedestal to get as close to Exotic Butter scores as they could have. Like if that did not get contested, that would have been so wild to see from them. So I mean they're certainly down, but they're not out. They're not out, and I really think going into Hagglefish Market here, I'm wondering if they're going to maybe throw Eon back into the mix because maybe they just need that little bit more. And especially if they're going to opt to keep Cookie onto that heavy edit, because if they want to be quick and easy and silent, like heavy edit could really push them forward past the zone, like keep zone in favor, but also like really propel them forward. And it looks like, yeah, the Whip Rays are going to opt to throw Aeon, and I think that is going to be a really huge choice for them here.
Yep, I think it's good. I do think
The Forge!
Ooh, that is a pick we have not seen. That will be interesting to see if it can put into play, especially with double Booyah and that Trizuka to be able to move that pencil. I do think pencil here is a move from Cookie. I think that Hagglefish is a kind of a thing where your anchor isn't going to want to push up that far, especially on zones. It's more content with staying back, so that's the kind of play style that Exotic Butters is seeming to going to lean into here. But you can't count out Whip Rays won very convincingly their last flat zones game once they got control of the zone. It started very much so like this, Saf, where Exotic Butters got an early lead. Whip Rays just really needs to find their way in and find that hold once they do, but 2 down from Quick there is going to be a good start for trying to get stuff for Exotic Butters held down in this zone as you get past the 50 mark remaining.
Dude, I was like clutching my pearls when I saw the Forge come out. Like, I was like, oh, like taken aback by it. I've heard really great things about Nate's Forge here, but a snowball effect coming out from Exotic Butters, as you said, a similar opening to the last Splatzones game. However, not looking to be maybe a similar ending for the Whip Rays here, as we are going to get really close to single digits for Exotic Butters. The Booyah Bomb coming out to try to maybe hold the zone just a little bit more, and there you can see it. Follow up from Eon, pushing the zone into the Whip Rays' favor here. Still a trade happening, a 3v3 situation, and still not for long, Exotic Butters coming back in and taking it for themselves. But, I mean, Toma, it's like you said, maybe the Whip Rays just need to find their momentum, they need to find their footing, and this could be where that happens, as the penalty now being gone.
Yeah, they need to try to get rid of Quick here, who's going to be coming in with that hammer, looking there at Rhythm, who hops very safely up onto that block. Very good move there to stay alive. They are going to lose control of the zone as it flips back for Exotic Butters, but they pick Quick as they go through the zone, and now it's 2 down on Exotic Butters. That means Whip Rays should have a decent time trying to recap this zone here, but they have to, of course, watch out for Luna, who's taking a great fight there and is going to actually stall out the Whip Rays and make sure that they can't cap the zone themselves. This is huge there. Any time that Exotic Butters right now can stall off this block is working very much so in their favor.
Yeah, and you know what? I really appreciate the double suction bomb coming out from the Whip Rays, though. Like, I don't know if you saw that for a second, but you could see both suction bombs, like, kitty corner to each other on the zone. So Whip Rays have a lot of subs in their pocket to try and get a lot of pain on the gun, but also, like, suspend Exotic Butters in their footprints, because they're like, well, we can't go that way with the for a few seconds because of the suction bomb. But sometimes those few seconds is all that matters there. But looking in, you can see Sofa King trying to pull in a fight from Quick, but Quick once again on that hammer, Toma. I mean, just absolutely menacing energy, as they really don't miss too often with it. But you can see here now Whip Rays responding to that the Hydra with the Booyah Bomb. Actually, one Booyah Bomb coming out from me, another coming out from Rhythm. Finally there, 2 members down on Exotic Butters. This could be the play that the Whip Rays needed.
They're trying to get that going there. Nate gets a nice trade there out onto Quick. Waiting now for Sofa King here on this flank, trying to prevent Exotic Butters from cleaning some space. Getting that Zuka out, it doesn't find the Kraken, but it does find one. Finds the Pencil as well. Stormingly is in that Kraken looking for Nate there as the Whip Rays are just trying to get control back of that zone. But 3 down, Exotic Butters is going to be able to recap it. Now 1.5 minutes left in this game. Whip Rays really need to get in here, and they need to find some space in front of that zone right now, I think, Sav.
Yeah, look at Eon trying to lure Stormingly kind of up into that box area there. They're going to opt to not maybe take that fight and redirect their attention to somewhere else, but still the resource is not being utilized to take zone here. Exotic Butters still holding on pretty strong. We're entering to 1 minute left in the game as the penalty for Exotic Butters now being eliminated. 3 members going down in the blink of an eye for the Whip Rays here, but still, Nate with the Booyah Bomb being the last man standing, flipping the zone as there's 43 seconds left for the Whip Rays to try to turn it around. Huge, Toma.
Look looking there, trying to find it's trading a third. This could be huge. They need to hold this zone, Saf. This is do or die now. They're through all their penalty. They have to stay alive.
Yeah, look at Eon trying to hold up the left-hand side. They're unfortunately losing the zone, and Eon still being successful in that fight. The Booyah Bomb going in through. That couldn't be just enough to take it out of control, and the Whip Race take it back in their favor, but someone going down in the middle section of the zone here. You gotta get that pencil out of there because it's too much ink to try to contend with. Look at Whip Rhythm trying to push up, maybe trying to build in a Booyah Bomb to help them out here. Nobody holding in control. It goes into overtime, but not quite enough for the Whip Race to lock it in. So Exotic Butters taking us into a 5-1 set, winning their first week of Ludi.
Oh my gosh, Saf. Nate,
Wow.
Nate, what was that? That was
Right?
crazy. That was crazy, just cleaning up from Nate there. And like you said, I think unfortunate that just the pencil was left up, and it's really hard to
Like
contest
the
pencil.
last person you would want alive on that final push was the pencil, and unfortunate for the Whip Race, it happened to be the pencil.
But like, oh, what a clutch play though. Like that game would have ended sooner if Nate hadn't just piled through there. I mean, look at this, just getting these picks and saving it at like the last second, looking at it quick, finding
Yeah, this
pick
fight
here.
is
Like,
huge.
I know. I've thought not to be like Debbie Downer, but I'm like, this is not a fight up that the Forge usually wins. And
No,
then
no,
coming in
it's
on
not.
the I was just like, what is going on? I was like, this is so crazy.
That's so wild. You know what? I remember speaking with Nate at LTC, and they talked about their Forge gameplay, and they were like, I play it like a shot. And I was like, hee hee ha ha, I don't know what you mean by that. But I
see
mean,
now.
holy
No.
cow! Like,
I see you, Nate. I see you.
yeah,
This
no,
will be-
seen and
yeah,
heard,
top
like,
tier.
loud and clear, Nate. That was really cool. That totally turned it around. That fight with Quick was definitely the turning point, because if Quick was able to take it, I mean, that's so much paint coverage to come out from them. I mean, unfortunate that they were able to grab the cooler, so they were down and out pretty fast. But, I mean, yeah, that was a really huge play by Nate. So, again, Whip Race, congratulations to Exotic Butters for their first week, like, running in on their first week and getting that win. But, however, Whip Race proving that they need to be in Division 5, Falco. I mean, holy smokes.
That was such a fun set. I mean, like, Exotic Butters, they worked as a unit. They had star players who were able to push forward. Quick Cookie, a lot of their players able to take control of their own. But again, they worked as a unit. But the Whip Rays, they knew how to counter some of those plays, especially with the flanks from Eon, who, you know, Saf, you and I, we've had the pleasure of facing the Whip Rays at LTC. I was in their division 2 seasons ago in Ludi, and they don't really change the roster. I know they added Nate not too long ago, but they are a team who sticks together. And
Consistent.
Very consistent, and it really shows. And again, we mentioned that they made the jump from Div 7 to Div 5 here, and Exotic Butters, a lot of very strong players. We're not surprised to see them in this div, and honestly get the 5-1 victory over the Whip Race. So that was a very, very impressive win for Exotic Butters. But again, every 5 seconds, something could have changed. Something could have changed. You were always anticipating who was going to be in the 1v1s, who was going to use their specials at the right time, especially with like a Stamp or a GG Booyah. That last game, they had 2 Booyah Bombs, perfect for zones. So that's exactly what they needed, and the Whip Rays able to do what they needed to do to prolong that game. Unfortunately, they just got locked out a few too many times during Game 6. So that was a very, very fun game to watch here, especially for the final match here of Week 1 of Ludi tonight. So, closing thoughts on this set, Saf?
You know what? I'm so proud of what the Rip Boys have done. Like, again, we love you, Exotic Butters, and we're so grateful. But we've had the Whip Rays on here so many times, and they have been a team for so long that, like, getting to watch them literally jump 2 divs into Div 5? Or is it more than that? Like, they were in Div 8, I thought, and now they're in Div 5? Or did they jump to Div 6?
Yeah, they went from 8 to 7 to 5, so they skipped Div 4, yeah.
yeah, like watching them like progress like that, it has been like such a unique experience, and it's one of those things where again, like Splatoon teams don't often have this type of structure where they can like really quite honestly tolerate and like stay together for that long through and standing the test of time. So it's really incredible to see that type of progression. But then it's like through the whip race, we get to see teams like Exotic Butters. We get to see teams like the Tactor Rulers. You know what I mean? We get to see these other teams that get to like through their journey, but then we get to know these other people along the way. So like the whip race are kind of like introducing us to other people as well. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, certainly. Well, you mentioned they've been a team who's been around forever, so it's always good to see them back. Now, Slowpoke or Toma, I don't know who wants to answer this question, but Exotic Butters, we mentioned that they were made of very strong players, and to have a team that is very scattered around the world, I believe on their bio, they mentioned that they have, I'm looking at it right now, that they have, okay, maybe I can find it, maybe I can't. I'm trying to remember where I posted it. But
I think it's at least OCE in South America.
Yeah. So they have one British player, four Americans, and 2 Oceania players. Like, to find the time for all of those people to play together and do well, that takes some dedication.
Yes, and I have to say, well, Slowpoke has to say, you know, the Oceania rep in this community, everybody might be a little bit slow to pick up on it and realize what they're cooking, but I'm not. I'm here. I realize that this OCE rep out here is crazy. These players out here are super talented, and I'm excited to see what Exotic Butters is going to be bringing throughout this season, especially through a lot less represented regions.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be a really fun div to watch. Div 5, always one of my favorites to pay attention to, right on the cusp of what we call low level into the territory of taking on more challenging opponents. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But that is going to be it for our broadcast here on Ludi Tonight of Week 1, wrapping up the week. And this is actually my final broadcast here as a streamer on Ludi Tonight. If for those of you who don't know, we are expecting a child who's going to be born pretty much any day now. So this is unfortunately the last broadcast that I'm going to be doing this season. I know it's only 1 week, but that's all I can do. I just know that you are in really good hands. Saf, Toma, Keon, a lot of the people watching, like, we could not do this without you guys watching, number one. If you weren't here, we wouldn't be broadcasting these matches. So thank you very much. Saf and Toma, I've worked with you for so long the past 2 seasons, and it's been so fun. And I'm really happy that Keon can join the crew to help these productions going and everything Ludi Tonight going, because I know you guys love to watch the matches. You guys love to watch them. We love it. That's why we're here every Sunday night for these games. Every week. That's why we are here. So it means so much to me that you guys are here doing this, and we have such a amazing crew from, you know, our admins, our streamers, our commentators. This is going to live on. I'm going to step away, but this is going to live on. And we're going to bring you more amazing Splatoon matches all season. So I just want to say thank you so much. This has been so fun, and I never would have expected that this has kind of blown up to the way that it has been this season, but it has been absolutely amazing, and I can't thank you guys enough, especially you, Safatoma, for being by my side pretty much this entire time. So thank you both so much. I appreciate you both.
I'm gonna start crying.
I love you both so much. I love Ludi, dude. Peace, love, and Ludi tonight. Long live Ludi.
For real?
Tonight.
Ludi Tonight, yeah.
Forever.
That's going to be it for our broadcast here on Ludi Tonight on Sunday, wrapping up week 1 here. We are going to sign off. Saf, we'll start with you.
Oh, gosh. You already know. Toma, where are you at? You know where I am. You can find me.
Oh, you know, I'm here in whatever corner of the screen, Crest of Gautier, Twitter, here at Twitch, twitch.tv/T-Toma_. And Falco, one final time over to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Where can the good people find Falco Flyer?
You can find me, Falco Flyer, on Twitch, not for the next few months, not for a long time. Falco Flyer 11 on Twitter. I don't know how active I'll be on social media for however long, but thank you guys again. We appreciate you guys so much, and thank you for watching Ludi Tonight on SplatoonTourney. Take care.